Awesome date, June 20th, 2008. Awesome topic, an anime and manga series that thinks both inside and, well, outside the box. This is the OSMcast.
Hi, everybody.
And welcome to the OSMcast. I'm Basil.
I'm Nobody.
And I'm DJ Inabito.
It's us three here, chilling back at Awesome Central. Back in its usually location at Stately Berry Manor.
My kitchen wasn't a very good sound booth, apparently.
It had a bad echo.
Whatever. It's made of tile. What do you expect?
Echoes.
Echo!
But anyways, Eric's off in the wild, woolly world of Atlanta.
Atlanta!
Atlanta!
So, we're the ones kicking it back, keeping it real
In Hunts Vegas.
on these streets, on the internet.
Not like in the big city.
So, y'all doing alright today?
Yep.
I'm doing A-okay.
Awesome.
What else is awesome?
Well, as you mentioned in our previously just crashed version of this podcast,
Oh yeah, that's decidedly not awesome, guys. We had recorded this podcast already. Like, we got like
Halfway
30
through.
minutes in. Like, we were deep into this thing, and then all of a sudden, Audacity just had the audacity to crash.
Goddamn Audacity.
Fucking Audacity.
I blame the sound guy.
I do too. Fuck you, James.
Sorry.
that's right.
Audacity is like free.
It's okay.
You
It's cool.
get what you pay for.
True that.
Speaking of paying for things, if you're wanting a PS3, apparently Wal-Mart's the place to be.
Yes.
Word on the street is they're giving away $100 gift cards if you buy a Blu-ray player. Now, just so happens the PS3 is a Blu-ray player, so it qualifies. So if you got to get your Blu-ray on, do it now. And if you got to get your PS3 on, Metal Gear's out, and it's awesome.
Say Metal Gear, somebody.
Metal Gear.
No, Basil, do it.
Metal Gear.
Oh, that's so sexy.
Snake. Snake. Snake! What'd you buy on PS3?
Oh, if it was on 360. Thankfully, our good friends Michael and Esther loaned me their PS3, so I'm still able to get my MGS4 on.
Yeah, Basil's such a fanboy of this series. He bought the collector's edition of Metal Gear Solid 4 without owning a PlayStation 3.
I also bought the limited edition strategy guide, because it has a lithograph of Solid Snake signed by the artist.
Oh, wow. Now I want it.
Well, on the plus side, because I reserved the limited edition, I got an art book, which had a $5 off coupon for the limited edition strategy guide. So, I spent slightly less money than I would normally.
That's good, Basil. Also, just so you know, I have dibs on the PS3 next. Whether Michael knows it or not. I have dibs. And I'm also eating ice cream.
Good luck with that, James.
Thank you. I shall do my best. Once again, the things I do for the awesome cast.
Delicious ice cream. Ice cream is awesome.
Yes. Today's ice cream is brought to you by Cold Stone Creameries. Ice cream that's needed.
Because let's all face it, ice cream just tastes better when servants have kneaded it for you. Like the flavor of their tears as they slave for poor wages. Just is so much better.
They're so grateful when you tip them that they burst into song.
That actually really embarrasses me every time they do it.
Yeah.
I, in fact, write on my little receipt, please don't sing.
I slipped my tip while he was making change, so he didn't see that I left him a tip.
Oh, yeah. I caught that.
Clever.
But y'all didn't come here to hear us talk about ice cream. Or maybe you did.
Maybe they did.
If you did,
Ice cream pretty freaking awesome.
If they
leave
did,
us a message in the comments section.
I'm eating chocolate with peanut butter cups in it. It's freaking delicious.
It was pretty good. That's also the one I had. So I had the Ghirardelli chocolate. Or Ghirardelli
You baller.
chocolate. Oh, yeah. It's the same price.
Whatever. Ghirardelli's like the baller chocolate, and we all know it.
Well, it's true. It's
Actually, I always liked Godiva better.
Hoity
It's so
toity, Miss
it's so
Nobody.
orgasmic.
But they don't serve it at Cold Stone.
Yeah, that's that's because it's too good. It's too good to be owned by any one man.
Or corporation,
Yes.
except Godiva.
Delicious.
I don't know. This shit's pretty delicious.
Well, anyhow.
So tonight, we're talking about anime and a manga. It's both. And it's pretty cool. And it's called Kekkaishi. So, Kekkaishi is a manga, also recently made to an anime. It's written by a wonderful lady named Yellow Tanabe, published in the U.S. by Viz Media, and then released in Japan in a Shonen Sunday.
Her name's Yellow?
I think it's a pen name.
I don't know. Her parents might have just really hated her.
Well, they are Japanese. They might not have really known what yellow meant, or they might have known what yellow meant. They just might not have known that it was a dumb American name.
Also true.
Oh, that sounds pretty cool. But anyways...
I'm pretty sure it's a pen name.
Work with me here, guys. I'm trying to do the comedy thing. Eric's not here, so...
We don't need comedy. Anyway, interestingly, Kekkaishi is published in the same book that Ranma 1/2 was published back when Ranma 1/2 was published.
And I believe Inuyasha.
Yep.
Yeah, that is one of the things I like about this anime is that while it's still a new anime, it kind of has a throwback to old anime. I mean, the feel of it just reminds me of an older series.
I think it has a lot to do with all the character interactions.
Yeah, Yellow Tanabe is a female author, she's writing... She's a female author, and she's writing a shonen series, much like how Rumiko Takahashi was writing, was a female mangaka writing a shonen series. And you can really kind of tell, because while it still has all the action, it's got all the fighting, the good art, there's a lot more character development. Like, the way the characters interact with each other, it seems a lot more natural.
Right.
It's true. But to sort of get back to it, Kekkaishi...
affectionately named Box Anime.
Oh, yeah. Well, we'll get into that in a moment.
Oh, yes.
Is set... the backstory is sort of set way back in the day.
It's set pre-Kenshin.
That's right.
The PK era.
The PK era.
We don't mean player killer, dog.
We mean pre-Kenshin.
Because that is, in fact, truly a historical point of time in Japan, as Kenshin truly walked the earth. I believe it with my heart and soul and all my weeboo-ness.
In Japan, they're like, it's the PK era.
At least. Meiji. And he walked for 2 wonderful seasons. Out of the third season, he should have rested.
That's very true.
Yes.
Damn, long show is long.
And then he rose from his grave of terribleness in OAVs for 2 days.
That's very true. I really like the OAV series. I don't know about you guys.
I actually like the OAV series better than I like the actual series.
Yes.
Although I like season 1 pretty good. Still not as good as Slayers, but nothing is as good as Slayers.
Because for me, the OAVs didn't have all the anime shtick in it. And let me explain my thing about anime to you kids now. I'm just getting so tired of all the animeisms and all the new anime. So I'm a jaded old man when it comes to anime.
What are you talking about, Desu?
Exactly. Screw you, and screw you.
But Inabudo Anaki.
Okay, let me just go SD and squeeze your cheeks and make them halfway across the screen like in every other damn anime too.
Why?
I'm gonna go kill myself. Be right back.
Well, it's odd that you say that. I know that you really like Kekkaishi, and Kekkaishi does have a lot of the anime shticks, but for some reason, when it does all the anime shticks and the anime cliches, like, oh, here's the boy and he likes the girl, but the girl is too smart and studious for him and doesn't recognize him, it kind of does all that, but at the same time, it does it in a way that reminds you why these things are cliches. Like, I was kind of watching it and going, oh, that's what every other series is trying to accomplish with this.
So it takes the cliches and uses them as tropes?
Yeah, that's a pretty good description.
You do bring up a good point, because it does have anime cliches in it, but unlike a lot of series, I don't think Kekkaishi heavily relies on them for things like gag factor and all that kind of stuff.
Although
it's not covered in them like a lot of the new stuff is.
It does heavily rely on its backstory.
Yes.
It does very heavily rely on its backstory. Okay, just so you guys know, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you the backstory. It takes up like 5 minutes of the anime, and it's probably 2 pages of the manga, but here it is. You see, there was this guy back in the pre-Kenshin era, and his name was Kasumori, and he was like a feudal lord. Some people translate it as emperor, some people just translate it as lord, but whatever you have, he was a Japanese landowner pre-Kenshin. And the one really weird thing about Kasumori was that he had a crap load of magical energy. He just generated it.
It's coming out of the pores.
Magical energy was just flooding out of him. And I don't know if he had any real control or even really real ability to use all of this magical energy that he was, just dumping. But a bunch of demons noticed, and in the series, the demons are called Ayakashi. So these Ayakashi noticed this immense amount of magical power, and they were like, hey, let's go eat him, and then maybe we'll have his power. And since the guy didn't want to get eaten, he hired somebody to keep the monsters away. And he hired a Kekkaishi by the name of
Tokimori Hazama.
Yes, Tokimori Hazama. In Tokimori Hazama, he had 2 apprentices, and he and his apprentices guarded Kasumori. Now, one day, Kazuma got real sick, and he couldn't go to defend Kasumori. He was gone for like 3 days, and when he came back, the palace was just completely overrun with Ayakashi, and all the family members and everyone in was dead.
Including the dude.
Including the dude. Now, despite the fact that the guy was dead, he was a bloody corpse sprawled across several walls, he was still generating a lot of magical energy. Possibly more magical energy now that he was dead than when he was alive. So, to solve the problem, our main Kekkaishi guy sealed Kasumori up in a Kekkai. A Kekkai is basically a force field that is shaped like a box. Hence why we call it the box anime.
You'll see boxes a lot.
Yes.
Lots of boxes. So anyhow, he then buries the sealed Kasumori underneath the ground, and now the whole land takes on the name Kasumori.
The actual story.
Yeah, the feudal lord had a lot of funds, and he had a charity that used his wealth to build schools there, and in modern day, 500 years after that terrible event, the main story is set on a school called Kasumori.
Oddly enough.
Let's see. And is defended by the 2 descendants of the original Kekkaishi. Well, not his descendants. Remember I said he had 2 apprentices. The actual original Kekkaishi never had any children, but his 2 apprentices did, and they were bickering over who was the true heir, and the families to this day still bicker over who the true heir and who the true defender of Kasumori is.
Yep, our 2 main folks is the main character, Yoshimori
Sumimura.
And then our female lead, Tokine Yukimura. And they're the 2 descendants of the 2 clans. When they were kids, Yoshimori really didn't care about this whole Kekkaishi thing. See, they're students by day, and at night they defend the land from all the Ayakashi that still try to come and absorb the power. And he didn't really give a damn, but Tokine did. And at one point, Yoshimori was screwing around, and a thing attacks him, and he's almost killed, but Tokine defends him by almost losing her arm and life. And she, even to this day, in the anime, she's scarred. And that freaked him the hell out, because while he didn't care about the job, he sincerely loved Tokine with all of his heart and soul. And Sora decides that from now on, his job is going to be the best Kekkaishi ever, so Tokine never gets hurt ever again.
He's going to become a strong man and defend his woman.
Yeah!
Seriously, that's a real aspect. He's really adamant about being a strong man, and somehow baking cakes figures into being a strong man.
Yes.
As Yoshimori also bakes a lot of cakes.
A lot of cakes.
It's sort of his hobby.
The manliest hobby.
No, it's not.
But the anime actually really does derive a lot of its stuff around the dichotomy between Yoshimori and Tokine. Because he really, really cares for Tokine, and she cares for him too, though she never says it, or states it really. They definitely have a bond together, but they also have this rivalry because they're both of these opposing households. But they have to work together at the same time. And so it creates this really weird, twisting sort of relationship between the two of them that really the anime sort of builds off of. But not even just them, like their grandparents, Yoshimori's grandfather and Tokine's grandmother. They were also chosen ones, or there's always one person in the family who's chosen with a little symbol on either their hand or upper chest that determines that they are the ones that are to be the protectors of the land. And they're constantly, and these are the original ones, as far as Tokine and Yoshimori are concerned, they're always bickering and fighting, much like the old guy and old lady from Ranma.
Yes.
Yeah, like Inu said earlier, there's a lot that just harkens back to the older animes.
Specifically Ranma.
Yeah, really specifically
really
Ranma.
specifically.
For some reason, it reminds a lot of us just of like Ranma with the character interactions with each other. They're very similar, despite the story not really
being nothing like it.
Exactly.
Yeah, Ranma was always about, wacky hijinks and being a romantic comedy.
This one has a much more decided plot. Now, the anime just kind of ends after the first major story arc in the manga.
Covers about, 13 volumes, 12 volumes of the manga?
Yeah, it's the first 13 volumes of the manga, but the manga keeps going. And, there's a lot more threads in the manga that are still open.
Oh yeah, it's still going. It's still going pretty strong. But we're mostly just going to cover the bits the anime covers.
Oh, okay.
Well, I guess you can chime in if you want. Since I haven't read the manga, I'm interested in it. You can tell me after the OSMcast.
Well, I'll talk about this show as much as I possibly can. Right now, it's probably one of my favorite shows that's out there. My only real problem with this show is that it's so impossible to describe to other people how awesome it is.
It really is.
Because, you say, well, it's about these guys that form these magic boxes, and that just doesn't sound as cool as, oh, it's about this guy who is a soul reaper, and he has this giant sword that transforms him.
But that's actually what makes this show so neat, because it's different from your usual shonen fluff, because their main ability is making these little dimensions and boxes to defeat their enemies. It takes much more cerebral approach to it. You know what their main power is, but it's how they use that power to defeat their enemies, rather than them just getting another, oh my god, superpower.
Yes, it's very much laid out to you in the beginning episodes of the series on what these people are capable of, and like Basil said, it's more about how they use it to overcome their different endeavors.
I think there's only one power that you don't know about right from the get-go, and I think that gets introduced in volume 9?
Maybe. I haven't seen it yet.
Or so? But it's one power, and all the adult Kekkaishi can use it. Just the two main characters aren't good enough yet.
It's not like Naruto, where they learn something new every 2 or 3 episodes. That trumps the super awesome thing they learned in the last 2 or 3 episodes.
And also, even that new power is still based on the precepts of all the other powers.
Yeah,
right.
It's still basically just a new expression of the same basic powers. And those powers being, they can create little, helpers out of pieces of paper, called shiki. They can create the Kekkai, which are the force field boxes. And then I think they have, a low-level amount of healing that's called something.
There's also a, that blue rope attack.
Oh, yeah, the Neshi. I forgot about that.
They don't use that a lot, but...
Well, the Neshi's basically a string Kekkai.
Yeah, that's very true.
Even the Zekai, which is the eventual more awesome power, is still just a round Kekkai.
It's just designed slightly differently than the normal thing. The idea is they use this box to create a little dimension within that box. Then they collapse the dimension if you're in that dimension, you're sort of gone.
Yeah. SOL, good buddy.
And they use that to great effect. Usually, most things, they have to surround the Ayakashi by the Kekkaishi, using the Kekkai, and collapsing it. All with various expressions of ets.
Yes.
Metsu and Tenketsu and all other sort of
all that fruity Japanese language crap. Yes.
It's a real neat little series and a lot of really good character building going on. So why don't we talk about your favorite character, Basil? Tell us about some Masamori.
Yes, Masamori. Well, I forget that all the characters are good in this show.
Like, all of them. Gen's the best character, but I'll let Basil talk about Masamori a little bit.
Well, Yoshimori is actually the middle son of a family of 3 brothers, the dad, and the mom, and the grandfather. The grandfather was the last true descendant who was able to... He was the blessed one, had a little mark on his hand, who was able to protect. Both the older brother and younger brother do not have that, only Yoshimori does.
Yeah, the older brother kinda, despite the fact that he's apparently smarter than Yoshimori, apparently much better put together and more control over his ability, still got the shaft and didn't get to inherit the family business. Instead it went to the second-born son.
Yes. Who is, of course, your much more traditional shonen hero, who's, headstrong, has lots of power, but doesn't know quite how to use it.
He runs head first, and you know it's a dumb idea. The audience sitting there like, don't do it! And he does it anyway.
Masamori is much more of a calculating, think about it before you leap sort of thing.
Despite the fact that the anime still continues to contradict my theory, I still think Masamori is going to turn out to be the main villain in the end.
You see, like I said, it's all about the character dichotomies, or at least I think so. And the trick is that Masamori, he knows he's the shit.
Yeah.
He knows it with his heart and soul. He is awesome.
He has his own, force of secret troops called the Urukai.
But he's stuck not being able to inherit the family job. Whereas his younger brother, who's not nearly as good as he is going to because of this mark on his hand. And that really, really screws with him because he's like, I should be doing this.
As you can
Why
tell,
can't I be doing this?
As you can tell, that creates a little tension in the series.
Oh yeah,
there's older brother to the
there's a
younger
lot
brother.
of tension between Masamori and Yoshimori.
Yeah.
And so Masamori says, screw you, I'm going to go join the Urukai, who is sort of like the organization of magical people of Japan, who sort of keep tabs on everything. And he forms his own little group called the Yagyu, who are all the sort of the misfits and the outcasts of the Urukai, into their own little fighting force.
The manga translates the Yagyu as the night troops, and I think that's actually a pretty good... Well, I know it's not the literal translation, it's a pretty good translation for what they are. It really conveys the idea behind them, that they're basically a group of monsters that take care of other monsters.
Yes, they're the ones that do the dirty work of the Urukai, and he's their leader, and they all love him and respect him. And so he's formed his own path. But even so, there's something in the back of him going, what I really should be doing is I should be protecting Kasamori. And it's always there. And he's always trying to figure out why it's Yoshimori and not him. And Yoshimori, of course, is like, man, stupid older brother. He's always being such an older brother. Stupid head.
He's got the whole, my older brother's cooler than me, and so I'm jealous of that.
But it's also implied that, like all shonen heroes... Yoshimori is much, much, much more powerful than anybody who has ever come before him. He just has no idea what he's doing.
Yes.
Which also really, really comes to the forefront, actually, and after the anime is over.
Yeah.
Is it really comes much more a plot point where he is really, really powerful and no one knows why. It's not one of those things where Monkey D. Luffy just gets a crazy idea and becomes more powerful, or Naruto just learns how to use more of the gigantic demon fox soul that's been, placed into him. Or even, Dragon Ball Z where they, train for 15 episodes.
Kamehameha! Spirit Bomb!
They think it's tied to the land of Kasamori, but they're not sure. But anyways, and then you also have the younger brother, whose name I don't remember.
I don't remember. He has one episode where he's kind of like, my older brother's stupid, but then by the end of it, he changes his mind.
Yeah.
Well, he thinks he's still kind of stupid.
Well,
but he's still
kind of
cool.
That's because Yoshimori, by the way, he has to guard Kasamori all night long. So when he has to go to school all day long, he has a tendency to sleep through school, which makes him not exactly the best student.
It's true. And
oh gosh, the man naps. Oh my god. Oh.
Like crazy. In fact, he'll make Shiki replications of himself to go to class while he sleeps on the roof.
Yes.
Like, all day.
The heterosexual man naps. God, I love those.
Like, I wish I had one of those for me in school.
Later. You also have, was it Kanda? Is his classmate?
Yes.
Who's a girl in his class, and all she can do is she can see things. It's her only ability. And she's sort of freaked out, but she realizes that apparently Yoshimori is powerful and can take care of these things. And so now she sort of has eyes and ears when he's not looking.
Yeah.
Whenever
he's not a lot.
All the time when she notices something, she immediately runs to Yoshimori to say, "Oh, I saw this," or whatever.
She actually plays a very great job of pointing out to Tokine about Tokine's feelings towards Yoshimori, because she's calling Tokine Yoshimori's older sister for a good chunk of the series, and then finally Tokine gets up and corrects her and goes, "I'm not related to him." And she goes, "Oh, well, what are you to him?" And then Tokine realizes that she has to answer.
And can't.
Yeah.
That's another thing I like is the relationship between Tokine and Yoshimori, and both in the character development and how they have to work together to fight.
I think Yoshimori and Tokine would have been such a good pair if the author hadn't introduced that other character that I love so much.
Like most Sunrise anime, it's sort of, they work in, usually because they're 50 episodes plus, so they usually work in sort of an arc. And the usual first 20 episodes or so are more building. They sort of build the world, introduce all the characters, pretty much set all the set pieces out and all the characters and everything. And then once that happens, they trigger the hook, which reels you in for the next half. And that hook in this show is a new character who is Sishio Gen.
Oh God, I love him so much. Oh God, I'm just going to have an orgasm thinking about him.
He's a member of the Yagyu Night Troops, and Masamori realizes two things. One, there are some threats that Kekkaishi just aren't exactly designed or built to handle, because they have to use their Kekkais to defeat monsters. If some monsters are very, really up close and personal, it's a real hassle to defeat them, and you need much more of a traditional melee beat-em-up guy to take care of these things. And that's where Gen comes in. Also, he realizes that another thing is that Yoshimori has no one he has to relate to or really be his friend because of his situation. Gen also really could use a friend who could relate to in his own particular situations.
They are so totally heterosexually in love.
Right.
And so he sends Gen to be a student and to help Yoshimori and Tokine.
You see, when Gen is first introduced, Yoshimori hates Gen because, one, his brother sent him and he doesn't really like his brother. Two, because Gen is way more of a badass than Yoshimori is. Gen doesn't really care for Yoshimori because Yoshimori is really weak by his standards, and especially compared to his brother. But then, one night, something happens, and they're fighting a monster, and they both kind of come to a mutual respect.
And then more plot occurs. You find out Gen's backstory, and...
Oh, poor little werewolf.
And then... Yoshimori does the obvious hero thing where it's like, dude, you're cool, it's all good, let's rock this.
Okay, one of the first things you learn about Gen, he goes and formally introduces himself to the grandfather and to the grandmother, kind of showing the Japanese audience that he is, in fact, an honorable person. But, when he's introducing himself to the grandfather, Yoshimori's father is making a big fuss over him and tries to offer him food and things, and he makes the offhanded comment, "Oh, I don't like sweets." Well, Yoshimori bakes cakes. Later on, Yoshimori brings Gen a cake. And Gen, despite the fact that he hates sweets, eats the cake.
I think you're looking into it a little bit too much.
I have seen way too many anime where they make, do you remember in Fushigi Yugi where Miyaka's a terrible cook, but all the good boys eat her food because they love her? Or Ryoga, who would eat Akane's cooking, despite the fact that it's Akane's cooking?
Back with the Ranma 1/2 references.
But Ryoga's a retard.
Anime has trained me to see that as a pattern, and that's what happened.
Bah.
Which shows their friendship.
Yeah. Friendship. I was reading the manga and I was going, holy crap, when did the Shonen series turn into a Shonen Ai series?
No, it's not.
Yeah, I didn't see that.
I'm also a terrible fangirl, so
yes.
Other people might not see
Don't
it
you
that
ruin
way.
the one new anime I like lately. Don't ruin it!
Ruin it like I ruined Metalocalypse?
Yes.
Oh god, Nathan and Toki.
But really, but that said, there really is a definite, friendship between all three of them.
There really is. Have you ever heard of the concept of the id, ego, and superego? The three of them actually make up that power trio very well, with Tokine being the superego, Yoshimori being the ego, and Gen actually being the id, the more carnal kind of slash 'em. But it's one of the examples where they don't portray the id as a bad thing, just, the more carnal.
And then the show really starts taking off and goes places when the Gen arc sort of ends. I want to explain
I cried.
what that end was.
I put the manga down and went and cried.
But when you pick it back up, that's when it really starts kicking off. It sort of ties everything that makes Yoshimori and why he's such a good guy. It really brings it out and really it seals the deal.
I put the manga down, and I, in fact, for about a month, probably walked around after I had been so, oh my god, Kekkai's great! For like a month, I probably walked around and said, I hate Kekkaishi. I hate this series.
In fact, it was so bad. We were actually going to do Kekkaishi as our first podcast, and it just didn't work because nobody was so distraught over the events that occurred that we will not talk about.
And see, that's when you know this series is good.
I don't think I have actually cried over a character's death since I was 15 and playing Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, I was 15 is my excuse.
No, everyone knows that Aris dies and Spike dies.
Yeah. Yes. Aris dies, Spike dies.
And Dumbledore dies. Yeah. Dumbledore is now
an official fine spoiler.
And Hermione dies. But
Hermione dies.
That's in the sequel.
Voldemort swoops in, shoots Hermione, goes, hoo-ha! And then he swoops out.
It's really neat. I thought it was interesting. This show was really well directed.
It really was.
And the guy, Kenji Kodama, he's actually pretty new to this whole directing thing. This is I think this is his first big show. And, but he did work on, stuff like City Hunter and also worked on GTO. The music's also really good.
In my opinion, the anime does kind of peter out before it's actually over. The problem is that the anime lost funding while it was still going.
Yeah, what happened was it was originally funded by McDonald's.
Yes.
Of all places.
And in the episode that I actually had to stop reading the manga for, that was actually the episode that McDonald's pulled out. That was the last heavily funded episode.
I think that actually had a fan drive to drum up enough money to finish off the last of the episodes. And so, yeah, it sort of does peer out near the end, but even then, they do as well as they can.
All the talent is there. It's just a funding issue.
Right. Once again, that's when you know a series is good. When fans will raise money for you.
But yeah, it was Tatsuki Iwasaki did the music, and he's a pretty prolific guy to do music for anime. He did Read or Die, Gurren Lagann, Ice Shield. I think he also did Ice Shield. Maybe not Ice Shield. I know he's doing Soul Eater right now. That's his new series, Soul Eater.
Well, that's a good series.
He's doing good stuff.
For a while, I didn't like Soul Eater because when I was first getting into Kekkaishi, I was trying to read around on forum topics of it. There's just not a lot of info about this series out there. And I was trying to read up on it, and somebody had done a review on it, and I was all excited about that, but in the comments section, some little bastard pointed out and said, Kakaishi's pretty good, but there are better shonen series you could be watching right now, like Soul Eater. So at first, I hated Soul Eater.
But it's kind of interesting. I mean, both Soul Eater and Kekkaishi are shonen shows, but they're not your shonen jump shows.
Very true.
This one, Kekkaishi's from Shonen Sundays, and
Soul Eater's from Square Enix.
Yes, Square Enix publication, where also Fullmetal Alchemist comes from.
Unfortunately, I like Soul Eater alright, but I can't really get into it because, once again...
May I make the chase?
Yes. Soul Eater is covered in anime shtick, and it just doesn't work for me.
Probably when I say Rumiko Takahashi, if you thought Inuyasha, it's possible that you might not like Kekkaishi because it's too good for you. You don't understand what quality is.
What are you talking about? Ranma One Half is from the creator of Inuyasha.
Fuck you, James. Actually, Basil
says it on the box.
Basil's actually... You can really tell how long a person's been into anime by what Rumiko Takahashi's story they point to.
Yeah, that's my theory.
Like, I point to Ranma 1/2.
As do I.
Basil points to...
Ranma 1/2.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the way it works...
You're thinking of another friend of ours, Todd.
Oh, yeah,
The way
Todd
it works
points to Urusei Yatsura.
like this. Your first set of fans, or the Star Blazers generation, when anime was in before time, I feel they're the Urusei Yatsura generation.
Like, that's when they couldn't buy, like, legitimate VHS tapes. They had to get VHS tapes from crazy guys at convention. They were, like, $80 a Korean bootleg.
But, yeah, they sort of formed the basis that we know the anime fandom has become today. And then later on, those were sort of the 70s and 80s. Then the early 90s is the Ranma 1/2 generation. And you'll know that that's where we came from, and a lot of fans, particularly like the Dragon Ball Z and Sailor Moon fans, are also part of that generation. And all the Yatsura fans were like, well, we like the show better when it's Yatsura. Because it was, again, a male lead and female lead romantic comedy thing where they both liked each other but wouldn't admit they liked each other. Then you have the early 2000s, the newest generation, which is the Inuyasha generation.
The Cartoon Network generation.
Where I go, I like Inuyasha better. It's called Ranma 1/2.
Inuyasha really isn't, it's probably the one person here who has given Inuyasha the most chance. It's not really Ranma 1/2. Like, I think it started out as that, but it's delved into something radically different. I
read the first manga, but maybe I just liked Ranma 1/2 better, and that's what I was expecting, and it was like, meh.
But regardless, eventually Inuyasha's going to end, and next decade there'll be yet another new show where the male main character and the male female character will like each other, will never admit it, and hijinks will ensue. And all the Inuyasha fans go, I looked at it was called Inuyasha. We'll say, I looked at it was called Ranma 1/2. And,
the guys in their wheelchairs will be like, I like the Urusei Yatsura desu.
Amazing the Cuckoo. That was their problem.
Amazing no Koku is for the really old people.
No, I did actually like I do really like Rumiko Takahashi, and I really did like the Inuyasha manga. It was, in fact, when the anime came out that I got pissy about it, because the anime really isn't as good as the manga. Like, and that's true for a lot of Rumiko Takahashi's stuff. Like, I don't even think the Ranma anime was as good as the manga.
Well, it's one of those things where usually if there's a manga before the anime, the manga tends to be better. But if the anime came first, the anime tends to be better.
Not Soul Eater. That manga sucks.
Well, there's exceptions to prove the rules.
Like, it was almost like somebody crapped out this thing, and then somebody else looked at it and was like, oh my god, we could make this awesome! And then they did, but the original wasn't that good.
Well, we'll see. We're only like 10 episodes in. It has plenty of time to turn to crap later. Let's think positively here, people.
And this has been an American Otaku history lesson with the OSMcast.
Yes.
But that's okay.
Okay.
Because for me, Kekkaishi feels like it's the actual sort of spiritual successor.
It kind of...
to Takahashi-type stuff. Because like we said, there are a lot of the character interactions are very Takahashi-ish without being Takahashi.
Right. The series doesn't even look the same, to be honest with you.
You know how a couple of years ago, Nintendo said, hey, let's go back to our roots and then redevelop in a different direction, rather than just try to do the image contest that Xbox and 360 are doing?
Right.
And that has worked for them for great success.
Being the number one console, yeah.
Yes. I kind of feel like Kekkaishi kind of does the same thing, where it went back to the roots of anime, and then sped back up to modern day without going in the same venue.
You have a good point there. I mean, I can see it too. Like, we can't stress it enough. Like, apparently that it feels like an older show.
The trick, I think, is because they're not super ultra powerful shonen shows like Bleach and Naruto and One Piece and DBZ.
And that's what makes it so interesting.
They have to do something else. So they have to do quality. Like, I'm not saying those shows are bad, but this show has to work harder to maintain the same level of just sheer awesome that other shows can pull off by just awesome looking visual effects.
Listen, Bleach does what it does by introducing new pantheon after new pantheon. Naruto does what it does the same way DBZ did, which is Naruto gets a cool power-up again and again and again.
And Luffy's just...
And Luffy's, well, Luffy.
Knucking futz. But, you know...
I like that.
Luffy's just,
Luffy is Luffy.
He just sort of bends reality to his will and just somehow happens to work.
Have you noticed that Zoro hasn't really gotten to fight since he gained the ability to turn into a Shura? Like, it reached a point where he was just too goddamn powerful, so now he doesn't get to fight anymore. He's always doing something else.
But thankfully, we don't have to worry like Kekkaishi because, like I said, their power levels are always pretty well maintained. There are times where Yoshimori will get absurdly powerful, but it's always with the confines of his actual power.
Yeah, it's not so much like Yoshimori suddenly got really powerful. It's like, you get the feeling that he's always incrementally getting better. Kind of the same way if you went and actually worked out at a gym, you would incrementally get better.
And they do have different stuff. For example, this actually takes place in the manga after the anime is ended, where the entire high school, during the day, has been filled with these butterfly Ayakashi. And they can't destroy all of them. There's too many of them. Literally, the place is full of them. Like, the entire rooms are just caked with them, and people are getting cut and feeling ill and almost dying. And so what they have to do is they have to create a giant Kekkai. Well, actually, it's all four of them. Yoshimori, Tokine, and the two grandparents. They form a giant Kekkai and actually raise the Kai up to move all the bad guys out, but all the good people stay inside the school. And to do that requires a tremendous amount of power, but not the level of power you'll see in the TV show. But by the time the manga gets to that point, you can see it happening, but still within that Kekkai.
Well, I think we fangasmed about as much as we can. Like, I think about this show constantly. It's my current obsession, actually. And I have fanfics that shall never see the light of day, but how many awesomes are we going to give it?
I think it's a dimensional fortress box full of awesome. That's me.
So, super dimensional box, force of awesome?
Yes. The OSM-1.
I'll agree to this.
Excellent.
OSM-1 it is.
Out of awesome.
Out of awesome.
So, surprise... Butt-sex! Sha-la-la-la-la-la.
I'm still putting that in the podcast.
Why?
Because I did it with the Cutie Honey one.
He's a sound guy. I do what he says.
That's right. I have supreme power over this awesome cast.
This has been the OSMcast. If you want to learn more about us, or if you liked us, check us out on the web at OSMcast.com and leave a message or a comment in the comment section.
OSMcast. So awesome, only 3 letters can contain it.
Or you can leave us an email at osmcast@gmail.com. Or you can even send us a voicemail at the Awesome Line, area code 206-426-5063.
Bye-bye.